Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering customer account management. This webinar will cover your customer list, how to add customers into your system, how to search for customers, merging and deleting customers. We'll go over sync for QuickBooks, customer page overview, customer status, and setting up referral sources, quick actions, billing and locations, settings and preferences, attachments. We'll look at the timeline, payments tab, equipment tab, and maintenance plan tab, along with some customer reporting so you can manage your data in bulk. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you can get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's dive into WEX FSM. We are starting on the customers page. To get there, you will click on customers in the top left in the main navigation. And this is going to be the main customer list with all of your customer profile accounts in it. If you want to add a new customer to this list, you will click the red plus button in the top right and fill out the information. Now, this is all pretty self-explanatory, but I do want to point out a couple things. If you are creating a residential customer, it will have space for their first and last name, their address, email, etc. If you are creating a commercial customer, that will give you a space for a business name. You will be able to add individual contacts with first and last names, but you will do that after you create the main commercial account with the business name. You can also set default tax groups. By default, your system will create and pull taxes by zip code, which honestly works great. That is what you want. But if you have an account that you would like to set a specific tax group that will override the default by zip code, you can update that here. You just select the tax group you want. Maybe you're working for a church or a school and you want to do 0% tax. You could just set that here and you'll always ensure any proposal or invoice you create, it will take on the default tax group. When you're adding your customers, it's always good to add an email. Email is a great way to communicate, but if they do not have an email, it will not let you save. That is required by default. However, there is a way around this. Let's say your customer does not have an email or doesn't provide it to you. You only have their name and phone number at the time. You will select opt out of marketing emails and opt out of email notifications. That will then take away that little red asterisk and email is no longer required. And you can continue on, save the customer, and add that email later if needed. Once you've added your customers, they will then show in this list. You are able to search for your customers here, and you can search by customer name, location, email address, phone number, or last visit date. If you notice these little green bubbles here, this is your auto sync status if you are syncing to QuickBooks. When you create a new customer in your system and you're syncing to QuickBooks, it will create the customer profile in WEX FSM first, and then that will sync down to your QuickBooks. A quick note about syncing. After you have gone through onboarding, you've made the switch, and now you are fully using WEX FSM as your main software, customers are a one-way sync item. So it's important to know anytime you want to add a new customer, always add it in WEX FSM first so it can sync down to QuickBooks. If you try to put a new customer in QuickBooks, it will not sync up to WEX FSM. Also, from this page, you can merge and delete customers. Maybe you created two customers that are the same on accident. You just want to get rid of the duplicate. You can click on that customer, select delete, and then delete that customer. If you want to merge an account, or merge two accounts together, select both accounts and click merge. When merging, now this part is important if you're syncing to QuickBooks. Let's say you have two accounts in WEX FSM and two accounts in QuickBooks, and you would like to merge those accounts. Do the merge in QuickBooks first. Merge those two accounts in QuickBooks and select a master account. Then do that merge in WEX FSM and select the same master. If you do it this way, when you click merge, it will then look for the same master in QuickBooks. And if there is, a one-to-one comparison, it will know where to sync and the sync will happen great. If you have a different master chosen, or you try to do the sync in WEX FSM and you do not do it in QuickBooks, then it may get confused which account it wants to sync to. So, and it even has a reminder for you here, not performing this in QuickBooks will result in sync errors. So just make sure that you're doing that first in QuickBooks. Now that is the customer page. Even though this is your main customer list, the main way that you're going to search for customers will most likely not be from this page. You will be searching daily. And to show you an example, let's say you're on the schedule page. If I want to search for a customer, I don't have to go to the customer list. I can just use this quick search up here, type my customer name. And then if they're in my list, they'll show up here. If they're not in my list, they will not pull up. And then I can click the plus sign to add them. But we do have Justin Hernandez as a customer. So I will click on his name to go to Justin's customer page. From the customer page, there's a lot of information you can keep on customer pages. So we're just going to work our way from the top and work our way down. So you have a full knowledge of what you can do on your customer pages. In the top left, we've got our customer name. If you see a star next to their name, that means they have a maintenance plan. So at a glance, I know they have a maintenance plan. And if I hover over the star, it will let me know which plan they are on. Justin here is on our Comfort Club plan. If you want to delete a customer, you click the trash can icon. Moving down, we have quick actions just underneath their name. And with this, each of these buttons will allow you to message the customer. That is if you have the two-way texting subscription. You can log a phone call. Maybe you talk to the customer, you just want to write down some notes, but you're not going to create a job or an appointment or take any action just yet. You can just document that you talked to the customer. Schedule an appointment. Now, maybe you're doing all of your scheduling from the schedule page. However, I happen to be talking to Justin. Justin lets me know that he's going out of town next week and he would really like it if we could come today. I can just click to schedule an appointment right from here. And it is exactly the same as I would be scheduling from the schedule page. So just a nice little shortcut to schedule an appointment. Leave a note about the customer. I really like this one. And if you are working in the office, you most likely will love this too. This allows you to write notes and attach these notes to locations. Then, anytime that you go to that location or have a job for that location, you'll be able to look in the calls and notes and see the note history. So, any notes that you're writing and you attach to the address, you can reference those. But if you want this to show up on every job, so you can reference things like gate codes, filter sizes, pets that you need to worry about, you can add that information here as a note. Click on the bell icon, and then that will add that to the jobs. And it can be a great time saver. If you're having to look around for the person's gate code every time you make an appointment, that can get pretty annoying. So instead, any pertinent information that you know your technicians need to know, put it in the notes and add it as a bell. Also, any belled notes that you create will show up in the customer timeline at the top. And even as you add jobs to the timeline, it will still remain at the top so you can easily reference the information you need about this customer. Just underneath that, we have our primary contact information and then your locations. So there are billing addresses and locations. Now, for your single family home residential customers, their billing address and their location that you're servicing is most likely going to be the same. But you may have different billing departments with your commercial customers. So that is why these two are separated. And you can add as many addresses as you want to here. Locations, think of these as sublocations to the main customer. An example here, Justin happens to have multiple rental properties, and I can see those here. And when you are adding a new location, let's say I'm talking to the customer and they let me know, hey, just bought another house. I would like you to come service that. We will add their location by clicking the red plus button. The location name is really a good reminder for you to know what this is. A good example would be you have an apartment complex that you're working with, and they have 20 units that you work on. I would name it Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. That way, when you're looking at a glance, you can know exactly which unit this address relates to. If you have tenants that are living at a location, maybe you're doing a property management company, you could put the tenant's name. So you can see Bob lives at this address and Mary lives at the other. Once you have that information here, click Save. And that is just a pro tip in WEX FSM in general. Any edits or updates you make, always hit the Save button. Underneath that, we have settings and preferences. You can either leave the defaults that are here, but maybe your customer prefers a Spanish speaking rep. Maybe they prefer email over text for their communication method. Maybe you do really big jobs for this customer and you don't want them to accidentally pay with a card and get a huge processing fee. Maybe you want to only allow them to pay via check or bank information. So you can update which payment methods you will accept from them. Set the payment terms here as well. And maybe they had an amazing experience with one of your technicians. You are able to set a preferred technician and it will prompt and remind you or remind whoever is scheduling that this is the preferred technician for this customer. Also, welcome, Dante. We have gotten into our topic here, but we are recording today's session, so you'll be able to watch a replay of this to capture whatever you may have missed. I'll show you where to find that at the end, but welcome, Dante.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry.
No, you're good. All right. So moving on, we do have a growth potential section. This is really just a reminder of a potential system replacement. So let's say that when you start servicing your customer, you look at their equipment and you think, oh, if we did a new furnace install, let's say, then we could make a revenue of 5 grand. And I should be looking at asking the customer about that and the date selected. Maybe their system will expire or all of their warranties expire in 2027. So you can set that date, and it's just a nice reminder here to know when you could get a potential big revenue push from this customer. And then with attachments, any attachments that you add will show up down here. All attachments will show you we'll show you both customer and job attachments. And the difference, a customer attachment only connects to the customer account in general and is not related to a job. A job attachment is something that is typically added either out in the field from the mobile app or from the office, and it is connected to a specific job folder. But you can still search through your job attachments from here, kind of like, a general search through all your job folders. All right, so that's the entire left side. The right side has some great features as well. Starting at the top, you can turn this customer off, or really just set this customer as inactive. Maybe something has happened where you're no longer servicing them, set them to inactive. Or you can put their account on hold. And a good use case for this, you do a couple jobs for somebody, they haven't paid you. We're not doing any more jobs for them until they have settled up on their bills. But maybe you have a new office person, they don't know that, and they will just schedule anyway. You can put their account on hold, and that will prevent any new jobs from being created, new appointments being created for them until you turn them back to active. And then referral source. We all know running a business, it's important to have a gauge on where your customers are coming from. And each time you add a new customer to your system, you can tag them with a referral source. Hey, where'd you hear about our company? Oh, I saw a Facebook ad, last week. Excellent. Select Facebook when you're adding them, and then you'll always know where this customer originally came from. We have some tabs just underneath here: timeline, payments, equipment, maintenance plans, and contacts. Timeline is going to be where jobs will be saved. I like to think of jobs as digital file folders, kind of like back in the day, you'd have a manila folder and you'd put your invoices and, proposals, your documents in there. That is what each of these rectangles represent. These are jobs. The red numbers are job numbers, which will auto-populate in your system each time you create a new job, and they will be in chronological order. So as you add new jobs, you will see this list grow here. And if you're naming your jobs, which I highly recommend, you will be able to know what that job is at a glance by the name. Another pro tip, a lot of people don't figure this out right away. You can actually click on this little arrow and it will show you everything that's inside of this folder. So if I want to quickly spot check through a job that I've done recently, I can just pop out this. And so we can see we did a million appointments for this job. And then this one has a bunch of appointments, an initial call note. Let's see if we can find one with an invoice. That one has an appointment. And here we go. So this one has an invoice. It shows the invoice number. If I want to quickly see what the invoice is, I can click on the PDF icon to give me a preview of what that looks like. And I'm doing all of this investigation without even having to go into the job yet. Once you are ready, you can click on the job number, and that will bring you into the job page. And this is where all of your appointments, service requests, proposals, financing info, purchase orders, invoices, and payments will live for this job. Next, we have our payments tab. This is typically a beloved tab for our office staff. This allows you to take payments. You can process payments, record payments, and add a credit or refund. Let's get a little bit detailed here. Process payment will process through WEX FSM and send the money to your bank account. Record payment is if you are processing outside of WEX FSM. A good example is someone is paying with cash. You'll still need to take that cash to the bank, but you will want to document or record that you have taken that payment. So the biggest difference, this one will process through WEX FSM, and record payment will not process, but will document that it happened. With a credit or refund, let's click on this. You can credit and refund in the same transaction. You can credit only and you can refund only. When refunding, the money will be returned in the way that it was originally processed. So if they paid with a Visa card, it would go back to their card that they paid. And if it's cash, you would need to till the drawer and give them their cash back. And then credit will stay on the account. Any credits that are added, we can see here, this says that we have some credits that are not fully applied to an invoice. If we click here, when you're creating the credit, if you apply the credit to an invoice, it'll just be on that invoice and you will see a line item where the credit was applied. If you just want to add a credit that you will use on a future job, you would just add the credit without an invoice and it will be saved here. Once you, let's say you have $100 credit, you do a $100 job for them, you would create an invoice. And then instead of taking their card information, you can just come here, click the edit pencil, and then apply credit to invoice. And now you can use this credit to pay for any invoice they have on file. Just underneath that, we have a couple other drop downs. Payments and credits by invoices will show you all invoices that you have for them. It will let you know if there was a payment, the date that that payment was made, the amount, and if there is any balance left over, which, as a pro tip, you can take partial payments. If someone is, short on cash, they'll pay you $50 today, they'll pay you the rest on Friday. You can do that. You can take a partial payment. It will then show a balance. And then when they pay and bring it down to zero, you will just see that reflected. And on the invoice, you will see each payment that was made separately. Payment plans, you can set up recurring payment plans for maintenance plans. And if you do this, you will see their payment plan information here. You can also store accounts. WEX FSM is PCI compliant, so you know that their card information is stored securely here. And some customers, they love that, Let me give you my payment credentials that can either be bank account information or credit or debit card information. And then, I'm busy. If you need to charge me for something, just do it. And now you have that payment method on file to pay for future jobs you do for them. And then if you are sending statements out to your customer, you will be able to see a history of those. I have not done that with Justin here in this test account, but if you're doing that, you will see those statements here. Next is equipment. We all know how important it is to know what equipment is on location, and you can quickly spot check that here, and you can also document equipment directly from here. When you click Add Equipment, this will then allow you to get very detailed about what the equipment is. You will set up the equipment name. You can add the model number, manufacturer number, description, serial number. Where is it located? Is it in a confined space? Get as detailed as you want, even add pictures. And once you save this equipment, it is now documented on this account and is referenced anytime you look at this customer or you go to one of their jobs. You can assign equipment by location as well. So as I toggle to different locations, you will see the equipment will change. Maintenance plans. This is the maintenance plan hub for this customer. If they are on a maintenance plan, you will see that information here. We can see Justin is on the Comfort Club plan, and we still owe Justin some services. I can see we have not done his AC cleaning or his heat cleaning this year, and that is because this says unscheduled. We can also see that Justin has not paid for his maintenance plan just yet because the balance is saying $100. Now, I'm not going to dive fully into maintenance plans for today's presentation, but if you are interested in that, we do offer a maintenance plans session. You can go to the little smiley face guy down below here. That is our help center, and you will want to look for video courses and webinars. From here, you can see if we have any upcoming sessions that you can join live to learn about maintenance plans, but you can also just watch the recordings down below under past webinars. And I would recommend, if you haven't done so already, doing the price book is a good one to watch. And if you have a maintenance plan program, the maintenance plans, basics and advanced, both great sessions. And you can watch those on demand anytime you need, right from here in the Help Center. Contacts. Now, this actually, when I first started working here, I didn't realize this for a little while. Each location that you have, you're going to set the address. And you can even put customer names and information in the location name for reminders. But for any communication that you need to send out, appointment confirmations, if you're sending a proposal or an invoice out to the customer or a comparison, you will need to select who that's going to go to and think of this as your customer contact list. Your Rolodex is here. So if you do not have a contact added to this list, you won't be able to send them a message. So always make sure anyone you know you want to communicate with, click add contact and add them here. And then anytime there's an option for you to send a message out from WEX FSM to your customer, you will be able to select from this list. All right, so that is a full overview of the customer page. Let me check my notes really quick just to make sure we're on track here. Oh, very good. And we're doing great on time. So we have two more sections left before we get to our Q&A. And the first one will be some settings that I recommend you take a look at to just set your preferences on how you want your customers to look in your system. We're going to navigate to settings in the top right, customers and scheduling, customer preferences right here. Now, this has a couple options. You can create and auto-generate customer numbers if that's something you want to do. For the majority of my customers, they're just using the job numbers that auto-populate, and there's no need for a customer number. But if you would like that additional layer, maybe there's something you need specifically, customer numbers for, you can turn that on here. And that will allow you, every time you create a new customer, it will generate a customer number for them. And then in addition, it will always also create job numbers when you create jobs. And then if you're syncing to QuickBooks, you can determine how you want the customer name format. First and last, then business name, last then first. And this is just personal preference of how you want your customer list to look when you are viewing it. As always, click save when you make your adjustments so they can apply and be saved in your system. And the last thing we're going to talk about is reporting. Let's go to reporting. So in the main navigation, you'll click reporting. And on the reporting page, we want to go to the customers report. And that is on the left side under customers. Click on that. And that will bring you to the customers page. Now, from this page, you will be able to set some parameters, customer creation by date, search by last visit date, by maintenance plan, uh, customer type, customer status, and then this is just a list of your customers. And you can see at a glance, are they on a maintenance plan? Are they active in your system? What is their total current invoiced amount? What is their total proposal amount? And if you would like to download the information here, you can click the download button right here next to alerts. And you can download this information, including filtered information. So if you set a bunch of filters and you get exactly the data you want, you can download that as an image, which would be a JPEG, a crosstab, which would be an Excel file, or a PDF or PowerPoint. Now, before we go to our Q&A, I do want to give you some tips on how you can learn more about things inside your system. In the Help Center, click on that smiley face guy. You can always go to the video courses and webinars page that we looked at earlier, but you can also use the search. And I personally do this all the time. I do know a little bit about the system, but I don't know everything. So if I need something, this is where I go. I click on help and I'll just type in, invoices. And now anything I need to know about invoices, our entire knowledge base will show up here. A great way to just search your own terms and learn more about the software on your own time. Of course, if you do have any questions at all, you can go to Help Center and the Home tab and contact support. And that's your way to get help from a customer service rep. All right. That is all the information that we have for today's presentation. We're going to move to our Q&A now, but I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Customer Account Management.